O holy eternal God, you who transcend time, generations, and with whom there is no light nor darkness, you who stand in the past, the future, and the present all at once, we bow before you in adoration. Dearest God, we ask that you would chart our entire life's journey and that we'll know that you're always with us. Amen. Today's devotion is Preserved for New Beginning. Our verse for meditation is Joshua 14, verse 10. And now, behold, the Lord hath kept me alive, as he said, for these 45 years, even since the Lord spoke this word unto Moses, while the children of Israel wandered in the wilderness. And now, look, I am this day 85 years old. Harlan David Sanders was born on September 9th, 1890 in Henryville, Indiana. His father died when he was just 6 years old, and at an early age, he took on the responsibility for his family. His journey into the work world was tumultuous, and he ended up being fired from several jobs. According to Fleximize, an international business development website, Harlan launched his first startup at the age of 30 years. It was a ferry boat service over the Ohio River, but a bridge built nearby rendered his services redundant. Then he started an oil lamp business, and this failed as electricity reached rural America. He then moved to Kentucky, where he opened his first service station, and this closed due to the economic depression. Again in 1930, he opened another service station, and this time he would sell his fried chicken to truckers. This became so popular that the then governor, Ruby Laffoon, named him a Kentucky Colonel. But a new highway that bypassed his service station led to the closure of this business. With just $105 per month in Social Security and a small saving, the 60-year-old Sanders decided to try with his chicken recipe one more time. At 66, he started traveling across the United States, where he would offer to cook the chicken and train restaurant workers, and in return they would pay him 5 cents for every bird they sold. His chicken became a mainstay in many local restaurants, and by 1963, when he was 73 years old, he had over 600 franchises across the world. By 1970, this number grew to 3,000 restaurants in 48 countries. Dreams do not age. And though it was late in life by demographic standards, he knew he had been preserved for a new beginning. Caleb was one of the 12 young men that Moses sent to explore the land of Canaan. He was 40 years old at the time, which means he would have been born in Egypt and lived his early life as a slave. So the idea of his own home must have been very exciting, especially since God had promised it. Caleb and the other 11 men spent 40 days in Canaan, and they came back with huge grapes and pomegranate. Caleb was anxious and excited to go tell Moses and all the people that yes, this is the land. The report was the land is prosperous, but only himself and Joshua felt that it was worth it. The other 10 felt otherwise. Numbers chapter 13 verses 31 to 33 read, "But the men who had gone up with him said, 'We are not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we.' And they gave the children of Israel a bad report of the land which they had spied out, saying, 'The land through which we have gone as spies is a land that devours its inhabitants, and all the people whom we saw in it are men of great stature.' There we saw the giants, the descendants of Anak, who came from giants, and we were like grasshoppers in our own sight, and so we were in their sight. This was very distressing for Caleb and Joshua. Joshua 14 verse 6 says they tore their clothes and begged the people, "Let us go, because God has said he will give the land to us. We do not have to fear them because God is with us. They do not have what we have. We have the Lord who parted the Red Sea, covered us in the day with a cloud that shielded us from the sun and warmed us at nights." Can you hear Caleb and Joshua pleading with the people? Do not throw away this chance. But their plea fell on deaf ears. Now it's 45 years later, and Moses is long gone, but Caleb kept the words spoken to him in his heart. His age would not hold him back. So he went to Joshua, the new leader, and asserted that God has kept him through the years and that it was time for him to claim his mountain. He was 85 years old, but he declared that he had been kept just for this moment to walk into his new beginning. "Give me my mountain," he told Joshua, declaring then, just as he had done 45 years before, "The Lord will be with me. Then I shall be able to drive them out, just as the Lord said." It is never too late to do that amazing thing in your life. The God who transcends time is able to restore all that has been lost, but you have to be willing to take on your mountain. Caleb endured the pain of a 45 years delay, but at 85, he decided it was time. Colonel Sanders was 66 when he went in search of his dreams. So do not think for one moment that what you did not do yesterday cannot be done now. It is not true. In Joel 2, verses 25 to 26, God's promise is, "So I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten, the crawling locust, my great army which I sent among you. And you shall eat in plenty and be satisfied, and praise the name of the Lord your God, who has dealt wondrously with you, and my people shall never be put to shame." And we say, Amen and amen.